Okay, welcome, beautiful ladies. So, today I wanted to talk on a topic while I do my makeup, just having a little one-to-one conversation with you guys. I wanted to talk about why I gave up on trying to be perfect and trying to be pretty, which in this society I feel like it's a lot of time a woman's goal, either subconsciously or consciously. And I can understand why it's kind of been going around. Always new trends coming up, brands taking out new makeup of how to cover imperfections, wrinkles, gray hair, eye bags, acne, and just always putting new insecurities out there, you know? So it's kind of hard to accept yourself when everybody's telling you that who you are and what you're trying to accept is just not right and it's wrong. So the first thing I wanted to touch up on is why I gave up on trying to be beautiful and trying to be in a way that girl everybody saw, like perfectly clean, put together all the time. So in high school year, mainly 9th grade, during my junior years, I wasn't really known as the pretty girl. When COVID ended, I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't want to continue being the girl I was like during elementary and my junior years. I wanted to change. I wanted to have a glow up. So I started taking extreme care of myself. And in the beginning, it felt really nice, you know, because I've never put so much care in myself. As the months went on, and it started to feel a little bit more pressure. Instead of taking care of myself and wanting to show up for myself, it turned out to I need to be perfect. I need to look put together and I need to look beautiful every single day. If not, I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be hated on. And I'm going to go back to being the same girl I used to be. And that idea of going back to who I was scared me. Because people would judge me. People would talk down to me. I didn't know how to stand up for myself and show up for myself. So thinking that if I went back looking and treating myself the way I used to treat myself, then I would just go back to being treated how I used to be treated. The thing here was that what started as a self-love and self-care ritual eventually turned into a self-hate, self-sabotage routine. I got tired of it. I got tired of keeping the same facade. And I feel that that's a lot of things that young girls go through, that women go through, that even some in their 30s or 40s are still going through, that they are still dressing up for other people. Once I started my self-improvement journey, I decided that I wanted to change the way I thought. I wanted to change my mindset instead of focusing on the way I looked, to focus more on the way I perceived myself, the way I saw others, the way I let others' opinions impact me. I was no longer fishing for compliments. I genuinely didn't care if people thought I was ugly, if they thought I was beautiful. I didn't care. I didn't care how I was perceived. As what mattered to me was if I liked them, if I respected myself, if I loved myself. The girl I used to force herself to look a certain way, to a girl that no matter if she's wearing pajamas, no matter if she has her hair messy, no matter if she stays home to watch TV, she knows that she is valuable. She knows that she is beautiful, that she is enough, and that she deserves respect. And yeah, I don't always feel beautiful. I'm not always happy and smiling. I have my ups, I have my downs. But even the days that I don't feel beautiful, I will not judge myself. And if I do, I come back to myself and I talk to myself and I tell myself that I don't deserve those words, because that's not my voice. That's what I heard from my peers, from my classmates, from other people. That's not me. And I keep this picture up here. It's a picture of me. I keep it up here in my vanity to remind myself that she is beautiful. She is funny. She is crazy. She is her authentic self. And way before I started focusing on trends, on beauty, and what other people thought, I was myself. And I tell myself that I am still valuable, because worth is not negotiable. It's not something that people can decide for me to have or not. I'm born with it. Whether I decide to watch TV for the rest of my life or become a successful person, that is my choice. But I am still worthy through it all, and how I got here and how I got to my journey, and started by putting myself first. And I would wake up around 6. I still live with my parents, so at that time everybody would be asleep and I had the whole time just for myself. I would go downstairs, I would bring my journal, bring out my laptop, and I would watch videos. I would watch videos on how to be the most high value woman, how to love yourself, on how to accept yourself, on how to let go of other people's opinions. And I would take notes on this. And I wouldn't just take notes. Every single day I would reread all my notes. And from each video I would write down the quotes that stood out to me. I would write down the things that stood out to me, and I would repeat that every single day. And I repeated this daily and daily and daily. And eventually it became my mindset of how much times I kept saying it and saying it. I started believing that that was my mind, that was who I was. And I genuinely believed that nobody's opinion could hurt me, that I was beautiful no matter the way I looked, that I actually liked myself the way I was. And a lesson that I learned throughout the way is that you don't build confidence by delusion. Because that's what I used to think, that if I'm delusional enough, or fake it till you make it, you build confidence. I didn't know who I was, and I did not like that feeling of faking it. So I started working on myself. Instead of trying to build confidence, I try to build self-love. Never in my life would I have thought that focusing on self-love this much would have taken me this far. When you focus on growing your self-love, when you focus on getting to know who you are, confidence, self-belief, self-esteem, successfulness, everything comes and hits you in the face, because self-love is the beginning of your lifelong journey of growth. Another thing that I never tried before, but that really helped me, was shadow work, journaling. And if you guys don't know what that is, you can technically search up any prompts on Pinterest or Google, and it'll give you prompts. It's a deep reflection where you go deeper into your past, deeper in your thoughts, and you really question why you act the way you do, why you think the way you do, and why you hold certain beliefs. I also have a digital notebook in my Etsy store that you guys can check out. But once I started shadow working, I just realized why I did so much things, why I thought a certain way about so much people, why I didn't like certain people. Because I don't think most of us understand that when we judge and criticize other people, we're judging and criticizing ourselves. Because if we don't like a certain person, we don't like them because there's something inside us that we don't like. Like, let's say somebody's always burping, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't like yourself when you burp. It can mean, it goes deeper than that. It can mean that you're afraid to be seen in a certain way. You're afraid to be perceived in a certain way that's far from perfection. Like, you have to go deeper and figure out all these things that trigger you, that make you feel annoyed, that make you feel angry, and figure out and ask yourself, why? Why does it genuinely trigger me? I just find it so fascinating that when you give yourself that chance to really sit with your thoughts, to really sit with yourself, and not to run away from what might come up, you can learn so much about yourself that it becomes like kind of obvious at the end. You're like, how did I not know that? Like, it's so obvious why I felt like this about this person, why I thought about this. I want you guys to try that. I want you guys to try waking up earlier than you usually do. Have some time for yourself and learn ways that you can love yourself and better yourself. You can learn from me, you can learn from other people, you can watch videos, you can learn from yourself by just sitting alone with your thoughts. You can learn so much, and I truly believe that you don't need any growth advice or anything like that, because you already have the answers all within you. You just have to trust yourself enough that you know your answers, because you've been the only person in this whole planet that's been with you since your first breath, since your hardest moment, since when you thought that you could not get back up. You've been with yourself every single step of the way, with every thought, with every struggle, with every memory, with every experience. You're the only person that knows yourself inside and out. So why do you think that other people would have the answer? You have the answers within you. You just have to believe in yourself enough to know that they are the right answers. I hope you guys liked this video. So if you liked it, make sure to subscribe and check out my other videos. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.